So my question is, if we're all saying that we want the same things, why does it feel like we keep passing each other? Why aren't we connecting? Why don't we see more examples of long-term relationships in our community if we're saying we want similar or the same thing?
I know exactly what the answer is to that.
Can I give it to you, show you how you can take it all? Wanna break you off. Could you ever fall in love with a young nigga like myself? And I've been thinking about you, nobody else. And my love is good for the hell.
All right. Now we back with another one. And today, this one is a video that another YouTuber slash advocate for the LGBT community made a new little series that he came up with that's very clever. So big ups to Craig the writer, Craig Stewart to be exact. He actually also does the F Talk with T.S. Madison. And yeah, he came out with a new segment on his channel where basically he got a group of gay men together, gay black men together, older gay black men to be exact, to all come together and talk about, you know, specifically the main thing was when I saw this, it was a reel that said, if we're all saying that we want the same things, why does it feel like we keep passing each other? Why aren't we connecting? Why don't we see more examples of long-term relationships in our community if we're saying we want similar to the same thing? So basically, I want to branch off of what he said in that reel. And first, all right, so the first, and then I'm going to watch a couple clips of them talking, and I'm going to get my reaction to it. But first, I'm going to react to that. The whole beginning of this conversation started off on, if we're all saying that we want the same thing, why does it feel like we keep passing each other? Why aren't we connecting? Why don't we see more examples of long-term relationships in our community if we're saying we want similar to the same thing? I wanted to branch off of that one because that is what a lot of black gay men are talking about is, on social media, you see people talking about they want to be in a relationship, or they're hinting to it by talking about how they're single all the time. Or it's always just this conversation as to why, the hookup culture is the way it is. Everybody complains about hookup culture, dating and everything, but then it just seems like nothing's changing. So why not? Why does everybody seem to want a similar thing, but it's not happening? All right. So I know exactly what the answer is to that. And I'm going to watch a couple of these clips just to see if they actually are being real in this meeting or in this group and actually being transparent, or if they're deflecting, because I'm going to call it out. All right. But to answer y'all's question, from my perception, why that is, why most gay men are out here looking for something, and y'all all claim y'all looking for something similar, but y'all not finding it. The first answer is honestly, y'all, gay black men have to do some more work before they can be relationship fit. All right. You have to practice self-reflection, heal from your past traumas. Black gay men, bi men have been through so much trauma, have been put down so much that their self-esteem is way too low. You know what I'm saying? There's just certain things that you have to have in order to be fit for a relationship. You have to be self-aware, okay? You have to be aware of what you're doing and who you are, what made you this way. That they can't get there because a lot of them deny who they are. They live in denial. So instead of them fixing their issues, they put on a cloak of cover up or of a front to be protecting themselves from whatever trauma they've been through. So they build this defense mechanism to just self-preserve, focus on self, like as far as success, money, stuff like that, things that they can control, but they don't actually go and face their traumas. And that is going to always make someone not able to be in a relationship, at least not long term. Okay. That's one answer. Two, There hasn't been no teaching, okay? There's been no examples. There's been no blueprint. That's another reason why I created Say So TV, so that I could tell there for a while that there was not no examples of no relationships or people who were looking for them or what to do. So I created a blueprint. This is before I even got into a relationship. And apparently I know what I'm doing because I'm in a successful one now. You know what I'm saying? So, and yes, I just hit 30, you know what I'm saying? So I'm in that age where I can really talk about this because I got some wisdom on me and some experience, but I'm still young enough to be able to talk about this from the young Gen Z, millennial, whatever y'all want to call us, perspective, all right? And seeing as in this group, most of these guys are Gen X and up, and, you know, I call them the Supremes, the originals, you know what I'm saying? Like, because real talk, that's the vibe that I get whenever I'm around them. Like, like I just took all the little shine you had and you just watched stuff like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really is a thing being in the gay community. Age is a big deal. All right. So, yeah, I wanted to go ahead and respond to this video. Oh, another reason why I think black gay men are mostly single is because they suffer from, yeah, basically what I just said. Basically what I'm about to say is the same as those two put together. When you don't have any examples, you don't actually have a self-esteem or self-worth. So then y'all just move around in curiosity and trial and error. And then when it comes to a certain age, they tend to get to where they understand what's going on and what they should have been doing all along. But then by that time, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? 35 and up is too late to get stuff going in this community. Straight up. So I don't know what exactly they talking about. So we're gonna go ahead and react to a couple of these, but I think I'm pretty right on the money. A lot of them waited till they got too old, and 35 and plus is old, okay, to be successful enough to think about a relationship, to be ready for a relationship, any of that. You need to be practicing throughout your 20s before you can just finally find something around that time. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of gay men also suffer from taking time for granted, taking life for granted. All right. Considering youth to be 40 and down is just not realistic. Youth is really 30 and down. All right. 35 and down, argumentably. But after you done turn 35, after passing 35, you're not in your youth no more. Okay. So y'all get to starting to do all the mature stuff, the stuff that you were supposed to have been practicing throughout your 20s. Y'all don't start until y'all get past 35. Y'all don't start valuing yourself. Y'all don't get to know who you are until then. You don't, you know what I'm saying? And then y'all normalize that. And that's another reason why I feel like y'all done ended up to where y'all at. So yeah, let's go ahead and react to a couple of these videos real quick, that these slides that he did. All right, let's go.
Most black men, whether you're talking about gay, straight, bi, whatever, most were raised by single women. Your grandmother, your auntie, or your mom. It's a cultural prevalence in the black community that a lot of women are raising their kids by themselves. Most of us didn't have a demonstration of a two-parent household or what a relationship long-term even looks like. So is that part of what happens when we come into this community? We don't have the tools, we don't have the know-how, we don't have the wherewithal?
I don't think that's the case at all. I think it goes back
You don't think
to,
at all?
I don't think that's the case at all. It
Okay.
may have an impact
Here
on
we
it.
go.
If you have not grown up in a space where you learn how to give and receive love. I think that's what it really boils down to. Whether you've been raised by a
Okay, I
single
agree
parent,
with
a
that.
grandmother, or your father wasn't around, I think, at least for me, I've been fortunate and blessed enough to have had male figures in my life to show me by example what professionalism looks like, what love, giving yourself love and giving love to others means. For people who have not had that example, that's where I think you run into some issues when people reach adulthood. I don't necessarily think 100% that is driven by the lack of you having seen those role models prior.
To Craig's point, so I am maybe an anomaly in the sense that my parents are still together, my grandparents were still together, my great grandparents were still together. Like, so I did grow up with those role models, and I did see that kind of heteronormative, role model in front of me. And that kind of was
I'm
like,
so
I
sick of hearing that
romanticized
word.
that in my brain, right? And so when it could not work out, or for whatever reasons, but I'm also an only child, so I also am very okay with being in a room by myself reading a book. Like, I don't have to engage.
All right, so I want to react to that clip real quick. I wonder why gay men have gotten this whole heteronormative thing as such a thing. He just said that, okay, so first, just to say, off of the first dude, I at first didn't get what he was saying. Well, I did think that he was going on some bullshit there for a minute, but then I realized after he explained it, yeah, you don't have to come from a two-parent household, but you do need to have some kind of examples of real love and people caring about you. I think that's the main thing. As a child, when you grow up and you're not actually loved and cared for, then you grow up disconnected from that, and that will be the main problem. So I feel like what the problem is with the women, single parents raising children, especially young men, is that they work and they have a busy life and they have to be too much of what they're not supposed to be. Women are not supposed to be the man and the woman in a relationship. They are supposed to be able to be soft. And when women are not able to be soft, they have to be masculine, be providers and all this other stuff, which makes them irritable, frustrated, and they don't have no patience for no child. Okay. So they don't give them no attention, or they don't give them the attention that they need. They may have these moments of happiness and attention, but for the most part, on a regular, it's a lot of, you know, distance and neglection and it's not really the woman's fault. It's just that she has too much on her hands. You know what I'm saying? So when you grow up in that environment, you will most likely have the ability to disconnect from people or not connect at all and just be in a hookup culture because you haven't been brought up with a healthy example of what love is.
I don't care about the marriage part. I just want partnership.
Right.
Partnership.
Long
I
term.
don't have to have a
is nice.
relationship
And just
where we
protect
live it
the
together. I
assets.
just want a partner, a companion.
Do you just want?
All right, that part right there, he just said, I don't care about the marriage part. I just want a partner. This is another reason why y'all single. Y'all confused about what reality is. That's not a relationship. That's not a partnership. A partner is someone who you are going through life as a partner with, going in on bills together, living together, um, sharing spaces. Like, partners are partners. They share. What is a partner? When you look up the definition, it's you have to be together. You have to be working on things together, at least, even if you're not going to live together. And there's no way that two males are going to have a long lasting, successful, healthy relationship that both parties are happy in if y'all don't even live together. How are y'all partners and y'all don't live together? How y'all partners and y'all don't pay bills together? How y'all partners and you paying for everything on your own? Like, honestly, I'm a strong believer that if you paying for everything on your own, you are single. There is no such thing as, and I'm in a relationship with somebody, but you got your own crib, I got my own crib, and we don't even have no plans on merging this. This is just how it's going to be. To me, you might want that. Like I said, a lot of gay men, they look at what they want and they don't look at what that adds up to somebody else or how valuable that is to someone else. So they live in this la la land of what they want and this fantasy about what they want, but they don't consider what that other person may want. And it's all about what they want. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons why it's not working in a lot of gay relationships, either because y'all too narcissistic and y'all don't realize that that's narcissism, because it's a protection field for you. I have to make this clear real quick, y'all. When I told y'all that the reason why a lot of y'all gonna end up single is because of your defense mechanisms, the things that you have learned to adapt to survive, that's what's gonna make you single. And I know that sounds real crazy and harsh, but let me tell y'all, real talk. When people grow up in toxic environments and they learn to be more selfish or whatever, that is a defense mechanism to self-preserve so that you're not being taken advantage of. we get it. It is true that that's a natural reaction. However, when you don't know how to balance that and know how to apply that to people who deserve it and who don't, that's when you're going to lose out. And a lot of the times when you've adapted a trait that made you survive throughout life, you feel like it works. Like Nick Cannon said, it works for you. You think it works for you because it's protected you from being hurt from those toxic people that you've been around before, etc. Right? But then when you find someone who is good and has good intentions, you most likely don't have the ability to compartmentalize and go, okay, these people deserve that hard side of me, but this person doesn't. You being so used to being hard, you don't know how to be soft or be, receptive to an actual good person because you're used to bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So one, two, another example of that is guys that sleep around a lot and are promiscuous. Someone commented before, like, we're not trying to be promiscuous or be sluts or hoes, but we were looking for love and we got tired. So then we just, did what it was. Well, and then y'all just embrace being, city boys, thoughts for the streets, whatever you want to call it. Well, because you built that defense mechanism because you were tired of getting hurt and because you've been hurt so much, now you decided that you didn't want to be hurt no more. You're not going to allow nobody to play you. You're going to be the F boy now because you done dealt with so many F boys. Now you're going to be the F boy. So now you're going to be single for indefinitely as well because your defense mechanism, your tactic is to basically push away people before they can even get close enough to you because you're so scared of getting hurt. So that's what I'm trying to say. Everyone thinks that they're doing something that protects them, but you're really doing the opposite in other ways. You got to learn how to balance that out. Yes, you do need to be like that in certain ways and certain people, but you need to know who not to be like that with. You get what I'm saying? All right. Oh, also just to go off of what he said, yeah, that's just not realistic, bro. Like, you're not about to have a partner and then y'all there's no, if y'all not trying to get married, just what's the point? Just date. I mean, I don't understand what people be talking about. If you're not trying to get married, then why don't you just date? If I was you and I didn't want to get married, I would just date. But then that literally goes right back in the hookup culture. And then y'all wonder why everybody's saying the same thing because y'all all are basically diverting whatever you want is going back to hookup culture because nobody's about to be your partner and they don't fucking benefit from you financially. Straight up. So now you're back in hookup culture. Thank you for that. Okay, let's continue.
One.
Partner and no open relationship.
I don't want no open
Definitely
relationship.
don't want an open relationship.
No.
You don't want an open relationship and you don't want a marriage. So that's gonna put you right back into hookup culture. You can't. This is what y'all gotta understand. Y'all need to know. Y'all need to know A to B. I think y'all got confused. Y'all don't know what A to B is. Y'all think A goes to C and then D and then go back to B, and it doesn't. Like, you have to understand what you're saying, and you need to know what that means. If you don't want, do y'all not look at the most likely outcome of your actions and your goals? So if I was to say to myself, I don't want to be in a marriage, a committed partnership, I want to just be with somebody that is like a partner, but we don't live together, we don't financially benefit from each other, we're not actually like a family. A family is a part of is people who live together and are financially together as well. So you want that, but then you don't want a marriage. So most guys who want to be partners, they want a marriage too. So now you're gonna X out a whole group of guys that want the marriage stuff because you don't want that. Then you don't want just you don't want an open relationship either. So then if you don't want an open relationship or a committed dude, you don't want a monogamous one, but then you don't want a poly dude either. So then where does that leave you at? That leaves you sitting there confused and still single because who was going for that? The poly dude is going to be like, well, I thought that you was going to mess with me because you didn't want no marriage. So then he's confused too. Like, who is this that you're gonna get is what I'm trying to think. Because another guy that most likely thinks like you, they're not trying to be in a relationship, bro. So then that's when the guys that you can consider that think like you, they're most likely not gonna want it how you want it, because that is more convenient for the average dude to just leave you as a fuck buddy. Straight up. All right. So we're going to continue to watch.
But what you have to define, though, for all of us at this juncture in your life, not thinking about what your perception was on what a relationship or a marriage or partnership looked like before, because I think a lot of us unknowingly base it on heteronormative relationships. So at this juncture in your life, what does it mean when you say partnership? What does partnership look like?
All right, let me address that part, the heteronormative relationships. I don't know where y'all getting this at, besides it's a way to say that we don't know how to be gay in relationships. But I think the simple answer to that is, how about instead of y'all separating what they did and what we should do, and then not know what we should do? Because that's another thing I noticed. Y'all will always debunk heteronormative. But then when I say, okay, well then what do y'all think we should do? Y'all don't know. Y'all don't have no answer. It's crickets. All right. That is how you know that y'all are confused. When you deny something, you better have a resolution to it. Y'all got to stop just denying stuff and rejecting stuff and ideals and stuff and not actually having a solution. That's not going to work for a real one. All right. So I'm gonna give the solution then. So y'all, heteronormative is just a blueprint on how two people are together, how they operate together. It's not just because this is a man and a woman that we can't copy anything that they do, or we can't have them as examples because that's a man and a woman. So we don't even need to be trying to do what they doing. I don't think that that's what it is. I think that it's self-hate. I think that y'all have been told that y'all can't be what straight people are. Y'all can't do this. Y'all can't do that. So then y'all internalized it, and insecure, like I've been saying, y'all very insecure for the majority. Y'all take that as, I'm not good enough to have that, or that's not realistic for us. So we have to settle for some bullshit alternative hookup or poly, or some, like, if it's not heteronormative or what y'all call it, meaning two people together as a partnership to build a life together, be happy together, and leave a legacy together, then what is the point of a relationship? It's not about heteronormative. It's about, if you take certain key components out of there, that does not equal a relationship. Just like I didn't use the example of a car. You can't take a car that accepts gas and say, you know what, I'm going to just put water in it because we're not able to put this in this car because we're not good enough to put this in this car. So we're going to put water in this car. And you think that car going to drive? There's just because you decided that that was not what you should do. That's just what a car takes. It doesn't matter what you idealize and what you think should be. That's what two people together is, because without the whole, y'all, we gay men, we don't have kids or nothing. If you can't be cuffed, married or nothing, there's no reason to be with you. Relationships were started because of families having to raise up children and stuff. So, like, that's the only reason why people are together. Otherwise, if you look at other species, they just go their separate ways after they raise the young, because they don't believe that's not. So if y'all saying y'all want to be like that, then y'all need to say that. But y'all not saying that. Y'all saying y'all still want a piece of heteronormativity, which y'all call it. It's not heteronormativity. Y'all want a piece of relationships, love, family. That's not heteronormative. That's being a human being. Quit disowning things that y'all deserve because y'all calling it heteronormative. Stop doing that. All right.
For you. So, because we didn't grow up in a space where gay marriage was an option.
Let me say this. My parents were still together. And my father was a good father. My father was not a good husband. Yeah. And I always felt my mom stayed because of her children. I think my mom stayed too long. Yeah. They still together. So I find when I'm in a relationship, it's hard for me to let go.
When you look at dating, are you attracted to your contemporaries, or are you attracted to?
All right, and so there we go. We got an example right there of a guy that comes from a two-parent household. They're still together. His parents still together, but he's still having a hard time in functioning in relationships. So it's not always about where we come from. because we have so many layers to the bullshit that we got to work through. So just to say that, you know,
to or going after those that are younger, because that seems to be pretty prevalent in our community as well. We hear a lot about daddy issues, you know, younger guys looking for an older guy. Sometimes it could be the older guy wanting to stroke his own ego to know he still has it and can still pull a young boy, but sometimes it's really just an arrangement when you get underneath it.
it's not the older guy is trying to see if he still has it. You said that to definitely sugarcoat in front of your older peers. I get it, but let's be real. The older guy is trying to live vicariously through the young guy because, like the first guy said, y'all was robbed of a lot, and I feel sorry for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I do get it. It's messed up, but y'all was robbed of a lot of experiences in life. Yeah, HIV, homophobia was very bad when y'all was coming up. So y'all kind of look at us with envy. I can tell. You know what I'm saying? They'll call it admiring or whatever. It's envy. They're and it's not necessarily in a toxic negative way, but it is envy. Um, they didn't get to do none of this. They didn't get to live out loud. You know, like they just said, gay marriage and all that. Like we're really blessed, y'all. New gays, new bi, whatever. All of us LGBT, we're blessed now. So let's not take this for granted. That's another reason why I feel like y'all need to go after relationships, because that is what the older generation didn't get to do for real. And I feel like we owe it to not only ourselves, but the younger generation coming up under us, that we need to set examples, because this generation didn't really get to. All right.
The young boy wants somebody that can sponsor him, take care of some stuff, and then the older guy.
But he's definitely right. The young guy is definitely on some city girl stuff, city boy stuff, whatever you want to call it, looking for a sponsor, an elder, a daddy. Yes, all that.
You know, has his own Peter Pan syndrome that he's battling with because he doesn't really want to grow older. Because when I was 30, and when I was in my 20s, I was dating 9 and 10 years older.
See that's the problem right there. If you're an older man and you're dating younger guys because you don't want to get older, that's the contradiction to that. That's the opposite. When you date someone younger and you're older, that makes you feel fucking ancient. That makes you feel old as shit. How about you go and get you a dude that is your age? But see, that goes back to proving my point. The reason why they don't want to go for nobody their age is because they look at each other like they are washed up and old. Like that goes to prove what I said about body counts. They look at each other like that because they don't respect each other, because they don't respect themselves. They know that they done been through this lifestyle, hanging from chandeliers, swinging from one dick to the next. And they look at each other and they know that that's what the fuck they were doing too. And it turns them off. Men don't like people who's been through the streets like that. Regardless, that's the reason why men always have gone for younger. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, you always go for younger when you're an older man, because no old man wants another old motherfucker. That is just straight up. I don't care if it's right or wrong. It is what it is. Y'all look at each other like y'all washed up. That's the reason why y'all don't never get with each other. I always was wondering that. When I was growing up, early 20s, and these niggas was trying to pull at me at the club, and I would look at them and I would go, your ass is like 40 something. You should be married, settled down. What are you doing up in here anyway? And now I get it, because, you know, they had to have got cuffed early. Like you had to have got cuffed and married and settled down by 35. That's when, or before you became, you know, washed up or whatever in the person's eyes that you're going for, right? Or that you're with. And you had to have gotten caught up in that relationship and in that, you know, bond before that. Then they would be still in a relationship as they got older. But when you wait to pass all your fucking youth, all your sexiness, all your stuff that you took for granted out there slutting around in them streets, when you do that and then you get to a certain age and then you realize, oh, y'all think that y'all refined and y'all more mature and y'all more valuable because you just got more knowledge, because you got more money, because you got more this and wisdom. Nobody cares about that. You hear me? And I am mature and wise as hell. It does not take for you to go through the mud to become wise, okay? That's not a flex. You know what the flex is in the gay community? What's valuable in the gay community is youth, success in an early age, knowing who you are in an early age, being proactive, being innovative, being savvy, and loving yourself early. Okay, y'all take too long. That generation took way too long to do anything, and I'm not dissing y'all or clowning y'all. I'm just saying what it is. I know that y'all's reasons for what it was. I just said in the beginning, y'all had a lot against y'all. But because of that, the L that y'all took, the biggest L was that y'all didn't, y'all didn't practice that self-love and everything, that self-awareness early on, while you had that body and that youthful look. And I know that y'all think, oh man, that's messed up. How can y'all hold us to a standard that's unrealistic? But it's not. I'm living proof. I started this channel when I was 27. Like, yeah, I am rare though. I will say that. I mean, I do know I'm rare, like everybody can't be like say so. But unfortunately, that's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Well, fortunately, that's why I'm here for the youth, so that this doesn't continue. This right here cannot continue. This generation of shit that they're talking about right here, this has got to go. All right? Like, real talk.
So my question is, if we're all saying that we want the same things, why does it feel like we keep passing each other? Why aren't we connecting? Why don't we see more examples of long-term relationships in our community if we're saying we want similar or the same thing?
Yep, exactly. Now, I hope that they answered that. Hold on.
Black men, whether you're talking about, I don't care about the marriage part. I just want partnership.
Stole my sexual youth. Yeah. So I admire younger guys because they do have the freedom that I didn't have when I was that age. Mm-hmm. I think HIV stole my sexual youth. Yeah. So when I look at them, I see my sexual youth. And
I think hookup culture is killing us. People don't know or take the time. Why take the time to get to know me when you can go meet 9 other niggas and all you gotta do is fuck and it can be done. And that's it. You don't even know my last name. You don't know shit about them, but they done ran up in you raw. So it's easy for me to now
because they did what?
I ain't got what?
They done ran up in you what?
Raw.
Okay.
I mean, they got prep now too, so that's why they.
Right. So I've seen my friends deteriorate from AIDS and HIV, but these kids, because it's prep and they got this what's this thing?
Doxy prep
that you can take for STD right after. You don't see your friend in the hospital fighting for their life. Mm-hmm. Now you just go fuck raw and take a pill and think it's okay. Yeah.
Oh, what? I didn't know about Doxy prep now. Doxy prep, now that's new. I didn't know about that. Now they coming out with they coming out with prep for STDs, like just gonorrhea, chlamydia and stuff. Now that's dope. That's dope. But I get what he's saying though. That is real. When you have all these little preventatives, that makes people go, wow, they don't got to be responsible or nothing. It takes away responsibility when you don't have to be responsible because you can just go pop a pill like a plan B, then you're not going to care. Dang.
I seen my friends fight for their life.
To your point, I think whenever we have conversations around HIV and AIDS and PrEP and that kind of thing, because we come through that generation where we've seen people leave here, yes. They are so cavalier. When I say they, I mean those that are probably under 30. Yeah. They're so cavalier about it.
And it comes across as disrespectful.
Right, and they say to us, like, you're bringing, you're trying to, you're speaking with so much vitriol and there's so much judgment in what you're saying. I'm like, no, baby, I saw people dying. Right. And my thing is, and they're like, yeah, but there's PrEP, and if you're undetectable, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, but why are people still contracting the virus? Why are the numbers still going up? If you all really are undetectable, and if you really are on PrEP, something is not adding up.
PrEP, and that has made an excuse for me not to build a relationship.
Correct.
Because now I can get to fulfill my relationship and go fuck, and then go back and be my business, still be a hard street. I ain't got to call you back. I ain't got to send a message to you. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, that's real. I like that they are being transparent and all that. I love this discussion. Big ups to Craig for doing this. All right, this was clever, and I hope that this is successful. I'm getting some ideas off of this. I used to do this in my groups when I used to work for the nonprofit. I did this, and I used to facilitate groups like this with dudes my age. And I wish I had started this channel back then. That was around like 2018, 2019, and all that. It was right before the pandemic. So yeah, that's what this gives me the reminder of. But to go off of what he said, if they're using PrEP or PEP as a way to not get in relationships, that's the wrong idea anyway, because you shouldn't just be getting in relationships to prevent from catching any diseases. That's not why you get in relationships. If you don't want to catch no diseases, that's when you practice celibacy. I feel like there's a lot of confusion into what people should be doing. I think that there's a lot of loss. There's a lot of loss. I'm trying to figure out how to say that correctly, but a lot of lost people, I should say, because that's not supposed to be a substitute for relationships.
At this point in your life, at this juncture in your life, is this how you saw yourself at 45 or 56 or 58? Like, is this what you imagined that age would look like? Anybody can jump in.
I don't think I saw myself at 50. There are things about my life that I love. There are things about my life that are missing. But I think.
And the reason why I want to show this part of this video, y'all, is because I need for all my niggas my age and younger to pay attention to this, y'all. This is the future that we're looking for or towards if y'all ain't getting it right. All right, real talk.
For the most part, at 56, I have a full, complete life. Mm-hmm. But to answer the question, no, I did not see my life being this. I thought I would have been married. I thought I would have had a child.
See, denial right there. He just said that he did see his life being different. Well, no, he said that he did see his life being different, but at 56, he feels like he's fulfilled. But then you go on to say, but I did think that I would have had more. I would have had a spouse, maybe a child, etc. So that means you're not fulfilled. See, this is the reason what I'll be talking about with these older dudes. They don't be keeping it real. And the reason why it's important for y'all to keep it real is so that y'all can help others. But they don't care that much about that. They're already messed up, or they're already lacking what they want. So, I mean, when people don't get what they want and they're not happy for themselves, it's hard for them to be happy for somebody else. I mean, let's be real. So that's why I be trying to tell y'all, these gay older dudes is not going to tell y'all the truth about how they feeling, what's going on, okay, on their day-to-day life, how lonely they are, how depressed, how upset they are about the outcome of their life. They're not going to tell you that because that's just way too vulnerable and way too, I mean, that's something that would make a person feel bad, okay, just by expressing. So I get that, but this is a way to detect when people are in denial. He just sat here and tried to make it like, at first when he started speaking, it was I am good, I'm fulfilled. Then it was I'm not fulfilled. But they make themselves feel better about their circumstances because as a human being, you need to find a way to be okay with living the rest of your life. So, of course, they're going to get to a point where eventually, no matter what position you're in, if you're single, if you got HIV, whatever, you're going to make sure that you become happy because that's what human beings do. All right.
And none of those things came true?
Not downsiding their overcoming of it because they could have definitely, they're still survivors, okay? They could have passed away for it, for catching something. They could have gave up, been druggies. They could have been nothing. They didn't even have to be successful. So I'm not taking what they did as like, oh, whatever, everybody has to be happy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that that's what they get to because that's what they get to have to do eventually. If you're not going to end it all, if you're not going to give up, the only outcome is to overcome it. If it don't break you, it make you stronger. You know what I'm saying?
Not to say that they could not still come true, but I do think that there are some things there are components of my life that I wanted that did not happen, that still could happen, but I've resolved within myself.
And I'm saying that because I don't want us to settle like they did. There's different ways of settling. People will only talk about settling when it comes to a relationship or a bad partner, but they never mention settling this way. This is settling as well. When you don't get what you want out of life and you have to settle for being happy by yourself and everything like that, that's settling, bro. Like, real talk. I want us to go after what we want so that we have fulfillment and real happiness. Okay. I know it's not going to happen for everybody, but that's not the point. The point is, if you go for it throughout this lifetime and then you don't find it, well, then guess what? One thing you don't have to worry about is regret. Okay. You don't have to live in denial because you can at least keep it real that, you know, you put your best foot forward and it just didn't happen for you. All right.
That I'm okay without them.
I think much like
I think that there are some things that they're components of my life that I wanted that did not happen, that still could happen, but I've resolved within myself that I'm okay without them.
Okay.
Like I just said.
I think much like Scott, for me, my angle was I didn't sit and have visions of what my life would be like at 49, but I had a curiosity to wonder what it would be like. And the fact that I had been working hard to invest in myself and professionalism and the desire to be in a partnership and all those things, I thought at this juncture in my life, those things will materialize in some way. Has it materialized in ways that I thought? My curiosity lent itself to that vision. Some did, some didn't. So now at this juncture, it's me getting comfortable with what this particular stage in life looks like. And overall, I'm really happy and excited about it. But other aspects, I'm like, could have done something different.
And what are the aspects that is it?
Another thing I want to point out really quick, I've noticed about the gay community, especially the older ones, they really practice being politically correct and being like this polished, like, you know, they tend to call people like me like hood or whatever because I'm very articulate, y'all know that, but I'm still, you know, you can tell that I'm being just comfortable with myself. I'm just speaking my mind. When they speak like this, it sounds very rehearsed. It sounds polished and fakish to me. Like you rehearsed who you are. Like you didn't know who you was, and then you just decided you took a piece of all these other people and created who you were. And why does the majority of gay men sound like that? And I think that that's their way of being, like, you know, professional, and maybe that's their way of being a man. I think that because they don't know what a man is, that's what they feel like a man is. Something like that, because there's no reason for all of y'all to be that damn censored, polished, and rehearsed, bro. Like, it just be like, what? Just say it. Like, get it out. Just say it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Say it as raw as it can be said. Quit sugarcoating. That's what I meant to say. They figure out a way to sugarcoat everything. Just because you got sugar in your tank don't mean you got to sugarcoat every damn thing. Like, damn. Just say it. Being masculine in a man is just being able to say something fearlessly without other people's judgment. Y'all worry about how y'all come off way too much, bro. Like, for real.
Could connect it to being single, or is it something else?
Yes and no. It's at this stage you start to think about, and I don't know if just men in general go through this, gay, straight, different, otherwise. If you're single and you haven't married and you don't have children, I, coming up on this age, started to think more around what is my investment with my family. What legacy do I leave? I should start doing more community service in comparison to what I was doing before. Like, what do I need to be doing differently? Because now it's
See, ooh, I'm so glad that he did this because this proves what I be telling y'all, bro. I told y'all, get y'all's own family so that y'all have y'all's own legacy to leave. When you grow up in that old, when your family, your birthright family that you all over here all talking about, oh, I got my family, I got my friends, I don't need no man. Your birthright family is gonna be having kids and stuff that they gonna have to take care of. They gonna have their own little families that branch off from the birthright family. And then that's the reason why I've noticed a lot of gay men become that gunkle, the gay uncle, and you know, they're the extra, you know, servants to the family, to the birthright family, because they don't have their own family to be there for. So they're just basically like putting their all into their birthright family, but that's not what we're set to do as human beings. Every species comes from a family that they're born in, but then they go off and branch into their own family. They go and start their own family. That's called being not even a human. That's called being a family. That's what I was trying to say at the beginning of the video. It's not heteronormative. That's what being a person that has a family in a purpose is. You see, he just tried to he has to find a purpose now, because all he done been is cum dumps for all these dudes throughout these years. So now he has to find a purpose, because he ain't got his own family. He ain't married. He ain't got no kids, no nothing. That is miserable. If y'all really thought that this was gonna be cool all the way up until you passed, that was not. I don't know how y'all thought that. I think y'all don't think about y'all's future, because if you think about your future at a young age, you will realize, oh my God, like, even just a couple years of being in the lifestyle at 21, 22 years old, you can notice it. You can really notice it, like, oh wow, like if this keeps up, I ain't gonna have nothing to show for life after this. Like, after all them hookups and everything, man, come on. You don't get nothing out of that. So yeah, these dudes have to figure out alternative ways to feel fulfilled, to feel like they have purpose. And every human wants to have purpose. As you get older, when the looks and the body and all that, and even if you still got the looks and the body, your age is still an expiration date, period. So then wow, it proves everything I was saying, bro.
More introspection around what am I leaving behind? Because I have less summers in front of me than I do behind.
Come on, Les Summers.
Right. So you start to think more about that, not in a depressing way, but
the best way to grow old gay, bro, is to have a partner that you grow old with, that you can sit on that porch with at 70 some years old and laugh and talk about all the stuff that's going on in y'all's past and everything, honestly. And then y'all can nurture each other until y'all pass away. Have y'all's own little family if y'all want to adopt or whatever, etc. You know, at least y'all have a house, at least y'all have things tangible to pass to other people. Y'all will have a legacy, like, and you will have someone that will love and care about you and take care of you until you pass, or until they pass. Like, that's what to me is the best way to live this lifestyle, straight up. So yeah.
in a way that says this is another juncture of life that at 28 I wasn't thinking about. Ooh, at 49 I would just be out kicking it and having fun and hanging out. But
so you thought at 28 you thought at 28 that at 49 you just be out kicking it and hanging out. That's why y'all not going. This is what it is. Y'all a little too immature, bro. Like, real talk. You were at 28 years old and you thought to yourself that at 49 you'd be out kicking it and hanging out. You haven't been around nobody older than you yet to see that old folks don't even like going out. Come on. I know we ain't this silly. Is we that simple-minded? Do y'all really be that simple-minded? Dang.
I've not wanted kids, so that's been a decision that I made, right? I desire partnership and still do, and it's still possible. So there's this curiosity around what is that going to look like at this particular stage in life, because I'm a bit more settled in comparison to me being 35 or 30 and being able to grow with somebody. So those are things that were top of mind for me.
Okay. Is everybody here single? And I don't mean dating. I mean in a relationship.
Of course.
Yeah. Everybody's single.
Yeah, I already knew that. Like,
of those of you, everybody is single.
all right. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this off of what he said. Yeah, homie just said exactly what I just been saying all this time. He said that now that he's in a more successful, more stable part of his life, now that he's willing to actually be in a relationship, because he wasn't before, now he's ready. Because as opposed to when he was 35, 30, he wasn't stable and stuff to want to be in a relationship. So now that he's 40 something, now he feels like he's an eligible bachelor. Boy, I'm sorry. That's so funny to me. Like, no, y'all got it wrong, man. I'm glad I came from a family that told me whatever you want to do, you need to start doing it now. All right. My peoples, when they asked me what I wanted to be, and I said that I wanted to run track or whatever, they told me to, because all my family ran track, you know what I'm saying? I saw them, you know, like the medals and the trophies and stuff growing up, you know what I'm saying? So they was like, if you want to run track, you need to start doing it now. You need to stretch every day. This one I was like 6, 7, 8. Nah, I'm going to take that back. I was like maybe 10, 11, 12. All right. And they was like, hey, if you want to be a good, you know, track runner, if you want to be fast, you want to start stretching every day now. You want to start practicing now, all that. Like how they did, you know, Michael Jordan and all them, you know, and I know that y'all want to correlate that, oh, that's a career, that's different. Nah, y'all. That's the reason why dating and all that for straight people happen early, and they, you know, the parents would congratulate it and condone it, even if it was at, you know, middle school and stuff. Even elementary, sometimes they'll entertain the fact, oh, you got a girlfriend, oh yeah, like this stuff like that, because you have to be practicing this stuff before you get there. And I know that that's what I said in the beginning of the video, because gay men have been deprived of that. They weren't able to. So these niggas is starting at like high school age mindset around 40. So that's what's going on. Wow. That makes sense. That's sad. To hear these men say these things is very daunting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe that that's really what y'all thought y'all's mindset was and everything. Y'all really set yourselves back too. Y'all got to take a little bit of accountability. Just because people was telling y'all that, now I didn't grow up in that lifestyle, so, but I'm not that much younger to where I still dealt with a lot of homophobia, and I still chose to be myself. There's not that many dudes doing what I'm doing, even on YouTube. All right. And if they are, they started after me because I inspired their ass. Okay. So, all right. I'm more rare than I thought. But I'm not looking down on nobody. I'm not being a bigot or nothing. Don't get this twisted. But I'd have to be real with y'all. That's not realistic, and that's not healthy to do. You don't want to set yourself up on those kind of bets. You don't want to bet yourself on, you know, I'm just going to wing it. You don't want to bet your life on nothing like that, y'all. This is important stuff here. Just like a career, you know, what you want to do in life, your family, the people you was born in with. This is just as important, y'all. This relationship stuff is just as important, y'all. Do not put this off to the back burner and off to the side like that. I promise you, you're going to regret it. Don't do that, okay? That's what these dudes are sounding like. This is what this is what you got to look forward to. Literally. And honestly, I hope that they find it. I hope that they find better, but I know that within reality, the most likely outcome of them is going to be they're going to pass alone. You know what I'm saying? I hope that they hang on to their friendships. I feel like guys like that need to hang on to their close friendships. You know, y'all need to have like what he put together. That's perfect. Y'all need to get together every Monday or something. Like, I don't know, like straight up, like I don't recommend nobody being alone until they pass away, bro. Get you a family some way. Family could look any way. Get you a friend group that you tight with, that y'all go on trips all the time, and y'all just had this close bond. Do something, please. Like, I don't recommend nobody just going on and passing on by themselves in a bed by themselves that nobody finds them in for a week. Like, straight up. So, or passing with no loved ones next to them because all their loved ones got a busy life and all this shit going on. And then, you know, your parents and stuff passed before you. Like, come on, y'all, think about yourself. Who gonna be there for you? Not that birthright family. They got their own families. Not your parents. They passed before you. Your kids gonna have their own life too if you have any. So as a gay man, you need to definitely be worried about getting that partner and that spouse checked off. That's the biggest deal. All right. Straight up. All right. So now that's it for this one, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
No, I don't give a fuck about what anyone say. No, I don't give a fuck about what anyone say. Baby, how much I really take.